Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and you love to see it. Here's the headline from CoinDesk. U.S. House approves crypto FIT21 bill with wave of Democratic support. Now, I think it's a bit unreasonable to state that this comes with a wave of Democratic support because you're not sufficiently highlighting a major problem, which is that the vast majority of one political party, the elected politicians, are anti-crypto and voted that way today. So I don't think that makes sense to have that characterization in the title. But still, it passed the House. So it's still got to get through the Senate. Still have to be signed by the president. A couple of things right off the bat that are rather fascinating. So first of all, what this does, and we'll get into specifics as I get a little bit further into the video, but worth noting that this bill, and if it ultimately does get signed into law, is going to result in the SEC losing a lot of power and the CFTC instead gaining a lot of power over the world of crypto. And it will specifically cite what would make a cryptocurrency a commodity, for an example, rather than a security. And interestingly, President Biden, even, what we're hearing from the White House, he won't veto this, which is astonishing to me. It's like, my God, they could see the way that the winds were shifting and how this would damage them, and potentially in this election. We're in an election here in the United States. Biden, just a couple weeks ago, was talking about how he was going to veto SAB 121, the repeal of that, the staff accounting bulletin in the SEC, which the SEC approved, which is majorly anti-crypto, made it so that banks, basically legacy financial institutions on the whole, wouldn't be able to custody crypto. So made it through the House and the Senate, which is astonishing, repealing that thing. But the President Biden, stated that he's going to veto that. Now, we'll see if he changes his mind on that, but it's just so interesting to see that within the last couple weeks, he's done like a complete 180 on crypto. A complete 180. Now, do you think that he learned some stuff? Is like, oh, wow, I guess I was mistaken on it. Or do you think that maybe what he's actually doing is recognizing that this is not a winning issue when it comes to the world of politics, when it comes to what voters would actually want? But before going further, though, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so let's jump into this piece, and I've got perspective from a number of high-profile individuals in the world of crypto, including Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Anyway, piece reads as follows. The crypto industry recorded its biggest ever U.S. policy win on Wednesday, when the House of Representatives approved a wide-reaching bill to establish regulations for digital assets markets, recording a 279 to 136 vote that saw Democrats crossing party lines to support it. The Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, or FIT21 for short as it's being called, marks the first time a major crypto bill has cleared one of the chambers of Congress. The issue now heads to the U.S. Senate, where its future is much murkier because there's no counterpart bill. Support for such an effort remains unclear there, and the necessary committees haven't done the same level of work on crypto. The U.S. has fallen behind other global jurisdictions in establishing crypto regulations, and despite the win on Wednesday, implementing such oversight is far from complete. We need rules of the road, said Rep. Josh Gottheimer, a Democrat in New Jersey, one of the Democrats who bucked the opposition of the White House, and the ranking Democrat on the House Financial Services Committee, Rep. Maxine Waters, a Democrat, California. He called it well-reasoned, thoughtful, bipartisan legislation and argued before the vote that it's fit to become law if we work together. Overall, 71 Democrats and 208 Republicans voted in favor of the bill versus 3 Republicans and 133 Democrats who voted against it. And so, folks, this is where I just want to live in reality here. So fine, technically, fine, call it bipartisan if you want to, but let's not pretend that both parties are equally pro-crypto. You need to identify the damn problem if you want to solve it here. People need to be aware that there is a political party here in the United States that, on the whole, is voting very anti-crypto. Again, look at the numbers here. 208 Republicans voted in favor of this. Only 71 voted in favor on the Democrat side. It's just, and only 3 Republicans voted against this. Only 3. While 133 Democrats voted against this pro-crypto bill. So happy and absolutely in this video, happy to give credit to all of the 71 Democrats who are going against the party line as it pertains to crypto, because that's what's happening here. And I really mean that. All the credit in the world to them. But we still need to accurately identify what is really going on here. Anyway, piece continues. President Joe Biden opposed the bill with a policy statement, though he didn't say he'd veto the bill, as he had recently when Congress sought to overturn a Securities and Exchange Commission effort to set crypto accounting policies. That's what I was referencing at the outset of the video. SEC Chair Gary Gensler also came out strongly against the legislation in a lengthy public statement, arguing the bill wasn't needed and endangered existing securities regulations. The legislation, largely driven by House Republicans, you think, would establish a regime to regulate the U.S. crypto markets, setting consumer protections, installing the Community Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, as a leading regulator. That's way better than the SEC, that's for sure, of digital assets, and the watchdog of the non-security spot markets, and it would more clearly define what makes a crypto token a security or a commodity. Folks, this is what we've been saying we want for how many years now? I mean, this type of the desire for this type of regulation was made publicly years before the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. We're just now getting it, and I'll show you in just a minute too, because hypocrisy is fun to highlight. Kim Jong-Gensler, 3 years ago, he agreed that we needed this type of direction and lawmaking from Congress. He agreed that. Now he's saying, nope, shouldn't be doing it. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny how things change? Here's a post from Brad Garlinghouse. This is from December 21st, 2023. He shared a video clip of Gary Gensler on national television, just citing that, hey, crypto, it's the Wild West, and, this is, there's a bunch of firms out there. They're really not seeking to play by the rules. They're trying to skirt the system. They want to operate in the dark. That type of crap, right? And here you can see he stated, this is his official X account, there is a lot of non-compliance in the crypto space. It undermines confidence when so many people have been hurt, and all they can do is stand in line in the bankruptcy court. So that whole tired argument, which doesn't make any damn sense. And so, again, December 21st, 2023, that was reposted by Brad Garlinghouse. And this is 3 years after we found out that the SEC was going after Ripple and, as a result, XRP holders. And Brad Garlinghouse wrote, "Stunning hypocrisy from the person who cozied up to the biggest fraud in recent memory. Gensler is a political liability whose actions have decimated consumers and destroyed the integrity of the SEC while remaining buddy-buddy with Wall Street." Now, that's absolutely true. He's absolutely a political liability. And so Brad Garlinghouse reposted that in the evening, and he said, well, this certainly has aged well, especially in light of this vote. He says, today, more than ever, we are seeing what a political liability Gensler has been to the Biden administration. It's the reason we saw 71 Dems cross the aisle and support Fit 21. We are just getting started. And it is fascinating to see that even the Biden White House, which has been so anti-crypto, just within the last week or two, mostly within the last week, I'd say, really, is just a complete 180, totally flipped here. But Kim Jong-Gensler, not flipping, not changing his tune. He's still going against crypto, basically solo, as I'll highlight a little bit later in the video. Check this out. But let's move on to this post, because this one really burned my biscuits, son. So here you have the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services. This is the Democrat account here. Not surprising. And they wrote, who benefits from the passage of the hashtag Not Fit for Purpose Act? Ooh, sick burn. And then it has a little green checkmark emoji. Wealthy crypto firms that have chosen not to register with the SEC or otherwise comply with the securities laws. That's right, folks. They're still going with this bogus argument, and since you've been in crypto for more than 5 seconds, you know that that's a straight up lie. And the come in and register trope is nothing more than that. A trope. It is made up nonsense gobbledygook. There is no path forward. There isn't. And then they wrote here, who stands to lose? And they wrote, ordinary investors trying to build wealth. Well, do you believe that? Do you believe that you stand to lose if this Fit 21, if this actually gets signed into law by the president? Are you going to be worse off or better off? Obviously, I'd say 100% either that, or there's always one weird outlier human, or 99.999% of humans, just repeat that 9 on out. That's how many, that's the percentage of humans that would agree in crypto, that would agree, no, this is good for me. Of course. And so I responded and wrote, read the damn room, fool, or no, how do I write? Read the room, you damn fools. Setting aside the fact your post is a blatant lie, over 50 million Americans own crypto. There is no anti-crypto voter bloc, but there is a huge and growing pro-crypto voter bloc. And so some people dispute the 50 million number, citing that it was somehow manipulated, this or that. I don't want to get into the weeds with that. I don't care. I don't care if the number is less than half of that. That's a ton of Americans who are pro-crypto, obviously. And the ones who aren't into crypto, even if they have sour opinions, it's not like they're actively anti-crypto. They may articulate, yeah, I don't know, that's scary, or I've heard about scams. Okay. But that's not some sort of issue that's going to get them to the voting booth. Obviously not. In fact, take a look at this. So this is a report from Paradigm. This is from March 14th this year. It's really lengthy, so I'm not going to go through it much. I want to highlight what I would think is the most key takeaway right here on your screen. 19% of American registered voters say they've bought crypto. So whatever the actual total number is of Americans that have ever bought crypto, it's tens of millions. It's absolutely, you're talking about, so in this case, what this data is citing here from Paradigm, is that basically 1 out of every 5 registered voters say they have bought crypto. Do you want to make that voter bloc your enemy? Well, of course not. You shouldn't want to. That's why I said it's so stupid. Like, this should not be partisan. But for some reason, the Democrats decided they were just going to be the anti-crypto party because reasons. And now they're realizing that's actually not good and could cost them the election, and they're flipping. That's exactly what's happening. Then there was this. This is from Watcher Guru. Just in, President Biden will not veto Fit 21 crypto bill if passed today. And so it did pass, but of course, it just passed the House. It still has to go through the Senate. And so I was referencing that at the outset of the video. That was reposted by Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett and wrote, guys, has everyone forgotten how Congress works today? If the bill passes the House today, and it ultimately did, it will still need to go through the Senate process, which could include hearings and markup, and then would have to pass the whole Senate too, which is why the White House can afford to be so laissez-faire about it in this statement. And I'm not going to read, this is the statement that the White House put out about this. So I think that Biden, although he's speaking out of this particular side of his mouth in which it sounds like, okay, I'm willing to work with you. Not that he's overwhelmingly pro-crypto sounding, he's not. But I do think that he's counting on this not even reaching his desk. He doesn't think he's going to have to either sign it or veto it. He thinks it won't get to him, and that might be the case. Just because the House voted doesn't mean the Senate will too. But no, don't think for a second that suddenly Biden is pro-crypto. I don't think he even knows what it is, to be honest with you. Do you think that he could put out a coherent sentence explaining what blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies are? Because I do not. I do not. I definitely do not think that is a possible thing that he could do. Here's a post from Brian Armstrong, who of course is the co-founder and CEO of Coinbase. Wow, 71 Dems voted yes, a total victory. I was hearing anything in the 20 to 40 range would be considered a win. And so I will say, when I saw that 71 Democrats voted, I was like, whoa, that's way higher than I would have guessed. So I will certainly acknowledge that, even though most of the party is still voting in an anti-crypto way. But that highlights the degree to which these politicians have recognized this is a losing issue for them. That's exactly what's happening here. And then Brian said, this is a resounding win in the House for clear crypto rules and a complete rejection of the nonsense being spouted by those who tried to kill this technology. Voters will not forget. Spot on, spot on. Sensible regulation on crypto just took a big step forward. Next stop is the Senate. And then there was this, and this one kind of made me laugh, so I have to share this with you. So there's a video clip of Congressman Brad Sherman of California, and oh my God. So I've talked about this guy a number of times over the years on my channel. Not surprisingly, if you look at where his donations are coming from, not parties that are exactly pro-crypto. Might he be bought and paid for? So he's so and it's completely irrational. And so he was going off on all these reasons, the worst criminals using crypto, all this crap, these tired false narratives about crypto, tired false narratives. And here's what Adam Cochran had to say about this. He said, Brad Sherman is the kind of guy that calls his grandson in 2024 to help him work the VCR. He hasn't a effing clue what crypto is, how it works, or how it's used. And because he doesn't understand it, and it's different, he's scared. I'll just pause to say, maybe in theory, but what about who's donating, right? Is that perhaps a bigger reason? Anyway, he continues. Instead of learning, he fearmongers. Now he is one of the last holdouts of Warren's anti-crypto narrative. If you want to vote them out, start with the Congress people who think a toaster is modern witchcraft. I love that line. That is my favorite line in this post. That's great. Toaster, modern witchcraft. But that's basically what it's funny because it rings true. That's why we're laughing at this. Because it's absurd and offensive, but it's so absurd. Sometimes all you can do is laugh, right? And so he says, then he wraps up by stating, presidents don't concern themselves with minutia. Congress people make your everyday policy, even if they don't know what it means. Yeah, and that's the sad truth. Here's a post from attorney James Murphy, aka Meta Lawman, on social media platform X. He shared this video clip where Gensler was speaking, and this is actually from, what's the date? May 6, 2021. Which is why I'd love to see Gary Gensler from that era, especially like the 2018-2019 Gary Gensler. I'd love to see that Gary Gensler debate 2024 Gary Gensler. They are not the same person. Well, I mean, they technically are, but the way they speak, it's as if they're not. It's as if they're polar opposites. And so Meta Lawman on May 3rd of last year was sharing this video clip from 2021, so he wrote the following. If the SEC follows through on its threat to sue Coinbase, and of course we know what happened there, I believe the SEC will lose. The SEC's case has a fatal flaw, and the problem is entirely of Gary Gensler's own making. Let me explain. After he was confirmed to his post as chairman of the SEC, Gensler testified to Congress on May 6, 2021 that the SEC does not have authority from Congress to regulate crypto exchanges. He said that. Again, this is after he was confirmed as SEC supreme leader and dictator, Kim Jong-un. So that's a little bit interesting, don't you think? So he was saying, not only do not have the authority, we need Congress to give me that authority, give the SEC that authority, clear this all up. That was 3 years ago, folks. And so what's happening today? Well, take a look at this. This is what Attorney Murphy posted just the other day. The Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, FIT 21, provides a comprehensive regulatory framework for crypto exchanges. Remember, this is exactly what SEC Chairman Gary Gensler asked Congress to do 3 years ago. So think about it. He's on video. It's right there. He said, yes, we do need this clarity from Congress. That's what the hell this bill is. What's happening? Well, look at this headline from CoinDesk. SEC's Gensler going rogue in solo quest to stop U.S. crypto legislation. And it's hilarious because he's stating publicly, included on national television today, no, this is bad and here's why. And it's all the old tired reasons. So he said we need this 3 years ago, and now, nope, this is bad. What a 180 flip. My God. This is completely absurd. Here's a post from Warren Davidson, congressman. Since 2018, I have been working to establish legal clarity for digital assets. Meanwhile, Gary Gensler's Orwellian regulatory approach has pushed innovation and investment overseas. Today, and finally, the House of Representatives brings clarity to the digital asset ecosystem by passing the Fit for the 21st Century Act. I applaud Chairman Patrick McHenry for his work passing the Fit 21, as this historic legislation would give entrepreneurs and investors the legal framework they need to take our economy into the future. Which is funny because then I'm not going to read this article. It's the Cointelegraph covering the same topic here. But I will read this quote from Representative Maxine Waters. She's the one that famously called Bitcoin, what'd you call it, Bitcom? I think it was Bitcom. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, but she knows what's best for you. Yeah, the Bitcom, right? The Bitcom thing, right? So here's a quote from this idiot. This bill is perhaps the worst, most harmful proposal I have seen in a long time. This bill would deregulate crypto and certain traditional securities to the extent that I and other experts have... Experts? Does she know what the word expert means? She says, I and other experts have expressed serious concerns about this bill causing a potential market crash and recession. That's right. If you have regulatory clarity and Congress says, hey, CFTC, you're in charge, and hey, here's what the hell a cryptocurrency is. This is what makes it a commodity. All of that clarity, that could cause a market crash and a recession. Because she's a dipshit, frankly. What an absolute buffoon. Unbelievable. Folks, these are the people that have the power to craft laws that you must abide by. My God, this is ridiculous. Credit to Representative Richie Torres, though. He is a Democrat and he is pro-crypto. He said, today I voted yes on FIT 21. It represents a bipartisan effort to regulate the digital assets industry, prevent the next FTX, safeguard consumers, cement the U.S. as a global leader in finance and technology, and promote a secure, innovative, and inclusive financial future. Given the rapid pace of digital innovation, we must ensure these advancements are not at the cost of consumer safety. FIT 21 will address these challenges by establishing stricter regulatory requirements for emerging financial technologies and ensuring that these innovations are secure and transparent before they reach consumers. And that guy, so he's right, that guy's in the same party as Maxine Waters, who is a self-proclaimed expert and thinks that if we have this level of clarity and safety, it's going to cause a market crash and recession. This is fear-mongering. She is that stupid, but I think that she's also happy if people are tricked by her very obvious ignorance. Because she called herself an expert. I mean, she said it, so it must be true, right? Some people, presumably she's hoping, would actually believe that she is an expert on this. And she's got their best interests in mind, when the reality is, if she gets her way, you lose financial freedoms. There is not clarity for the asset class. It harms business opportunities, and businesses flee overseas to jurisdictions that are friendly and have clear rules of the road, obviously. So this is a big win. The fact this happened, big win. I'm concerned about what's going to happen in the Senate, but we'll sit tight, see what happens. Big picture, though, this all gets worked out. We're on the right side of history. Unquestionably. It's just a question of how long is it going to take some of these idiot Democrats to figure that out? Because, and there's some obvious dopes and idiots on the Republican side too. It's just that there aren't that many. They're just and yes, I do think that the Republicans, they're towing the party line on crypto, but they're pro-crypto. So I'm like, yeah, go for it. Toe that party line. Absolutely. And I acknowledge that a lot of them probably are just going with it, and maybe they don't even feel that way, but they're doing it. They're doing it. Okay, cool. But eventually, the other party's going to have to too, or they're going to lose votes. And there are many people out there that think it'll cost them the election this year, so we'll see. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.